Alicia. Welcome to Homeschooltable, and today I'm going to be sharing how I start planning for next year. My last video from last week was wrapping up my school year, so I thought I might share with you what I do to start prepping ahead so things can go smoothly for next year. I also got some really fun mail just today, so I kind of took out the bubble wrap and stuff like that, so we'll dive into that. That's stuff for next year. It's really exciting to open it. But what I wanted to share, I have some notes down here in case you wonder what I'm looking at, but the first thing I do when I start planning for next year is I take the assessments. I find out what levels are we at. What levels do I need to get for next year? What worked this year and what should we keep on doing next year since it was successful? What things didn't work? What things do I need to change? Maybe spend some time doing some research about other curriculums I've heard about or have had an interest in, even if it's not necessarily a subject I want to change. Like, we're really happy with our math, but I heard about another math program, so I was doing some research. What is the cost? How are people reviewing it? What's a day-to-day look like using it? So things like that are really important place to start. Next is paper pencil time. I love paper pencil. Not always putting things on my phone on lists is great too, but paper pencil. So I make my list, and don't lose the list because this will be your master list about what you want to buy for next year. And the costs. So I have little columns with how I do it. Mine looks really messy, so I won't really show you mine because it's kind of a mess right now, but it's kind of just like everything that's up here, but just get it out on paper so you don't have to think about it. And then I total on the side how much it's going to cost. So I have that in mind too as I'm going through things, buying things. Okay, now what do I have left to purchase, and what is my current amount that I'm going to be spending? I think about what I need to add and what is the practical steps I need to do to add that to our curriculum. So for instance, this year or for that next year, we would like to do music. So first of all, how are we going to do the music? Who's going to be providing the lessons? What are the costs? What do I need to purchase ahead of time? How do I, when is the sign up date? What day is going to fit best into our schedule? Things like that is stuff that needs to be thought about well ahead of time, so that way you can make sure it's a smooth transition into the next year. The next thing, I do book lists and read alouds. So fun read alouds and things I enjoy to read to the kids, but then also books that are required by the curriculum. I start making lists. I check if my library has them, because I don't really see a point to buy more books every single year, and it gets a little ridiculous. So it's so much easier just to check if your library has it. Our library does a thing where we can request it online, curbside pickup if we want, and we don't even have to go in. So we don't really do that usually. We end up going in, but that's an option too. It's so simple, right? And even if you can't get over there, I'm sure someone could stop by and, pick up your stuff if you already have it picked out. So that saves a huge expense if you know that your library has it. I also go through and find, what I've been doing this year is finding what science topics we're doing, and then finding Netflix or Hulu or whatever you have, Prime or whatever, that has videos that connect with those. So it's just another thing to add on to your day where it makes everything connect and it just goes really smoothly. Do you hear bubble wrap? Someone stole our box and our bubble wrap. Anyways, so also after Netflix, doing research with Netflix possibilities or Prime or whatever you have, what videos correspond to your lessons. Also field trip ideas. So doesn't mean you have to do them, but just get the list going about field trip possibilities, and you can finalize it later. The next thing I have listed here is start homeschool traditions. So we have a tradition now where we like to start our very first day of school with a field trip. And it seems kind of silly because you should be getting into your curriculum and stuff like that, but I find, or at least I found last year and I hope to find this year, that if we get out, do something that's going to tie in with our like our science or our history right away, then I can pull from that. Remember on the first day of school, guys, when we went here and we looked at this? So it's great. Plus it's like they get so excited, oh, we're going somewhere. And then you, the other tradition we have is on the first official day where we're home, we do like a yummy breakfast, like, you know, cinnamon rolls or something like that, that they get really excited about. So special breakfast, new school supplies, or also going somewhere, like a field trip on the first day. Plus, you know, hey, we got a field trip in, and what kid isn't excited to start their first day of school, you know, going somewhere really fun, which is something that you can do when you homeschool, so why not take advantage of it? I also start simple list of like, okay, 3 ring binders. How many am I thinking I need? What other things are we running low on that we might need for next year? We go through glue like crazy for some reason. Just lots of cut and paste, I guess. Very important, after you make all these lists, don't lose them. Put them somewhere really safe. And because that's a lot of hard work that you put into that. So don't lose those papers. I keep them in this, in my planner from the last year. And so then when I get my new planner, I'll either just pull out the pages and slide them into the new one, or I will like recopy in a nice, neat way that's like, and more finalized. And of course, this is not like, okay, woohoo, I did everything, I'm done. This, of course, requires follow-up later, but this chunk of work early on makes it so easy later, because you come back and you're like, oh, look, I already did all the work. So the follow-up to that would be, of course, getting our calendar out, marking off the weeks that you need off, the weeks that you are going to be working. If you want to line up with your school, the public school that's nearby, if you want to line up, you need to go through and find out, okay, when are their breaks, or when do I want to be done by? Also, your purchasing of your items that you have to do, your daily schedule, which is something I like to go through, write all your 5 days for the week, what is going to be happening on those days, kind of like an outline, a little schedule. How you're going to set up your school stuff. Like, do you want everything in binders, in magazine holders, in boxes for each kid? I mean, some people do little drawers. I mean, there's 100 different ways. So just figuring out, okay, well, what do I need to purchase to make my plan work? Some kind of planner for mom, or a video, which are like a notebook, which I did a video on not too long ago. So I showed mine. So my planner or my notebook or whatever. Okay, now to the really fun part. This is my fun mail. So the box is not here obviously, but I just wanted to open it and make sure it was in there. Plus bubble wrap does not sound good on camera probably. So we ordered our language arts for next year, and let me explain the reason why I did this so early, because it is April and we're not using this until August, so we've got a little ways. But I did this so early because when you get close, if this is like the first year you're doing homeschool, there tends to be like a mad rush with curriculum at the last minute, and sometimes it can be like back ordered and take a long time to get to you, depending on what company you're going with or like who you're ordering it from. And you don't want to be in one of those situations where you wanted to start at a certain point and now you've put it off to the last minute and you don't have your curriculum, so you can't really start. So, and I know this is crazy early, but another reason is because they're getting rid of all their last year's editions if the program you're using is starting a new edition for the next year, and that price will be close to half the price of the new edition. So if you want to save a lot of money, then just get last year's edition and you can, just save a lot. So anyways, I went ahead and ordered, I'm so excited, the good and the beautiful. So this is for my son. This is level K, and it comes like super, super bubble wrapped, and in these awesome bags, so the kids can't get it like all gross, right? Oh my goodness, it's so much better than just printing it off myself. Like, it's so nice and bound. The level K reader, he already looked through there. He's like, Mom, I know this word. I'm like, woohoo. You got the course book. So this is kind of like the package, the whole package deal there. Got that. It comes with, which I haven't opened, the little mini books I have to put together. So this is something I'm just going to put up on the shelf. And the phonics cards that I'm going to get. I plan to get like one of those index little boxes to put working on, mastered, and organize them that way or whatever. But this is something paid for. I think the normal price looked like 60 bucks, but because this is last year's edition and they're getting ready for the new one, I got it for 30 something. So it's worth it to order early if it's going to save you that huge of a difference, right? I think so. And this looks amazing. So this is for my son. And then I ordered, let's see, level 1 for my daughter, which technically I think she could probably do level 2, but I didn't want there to be any learning gaps since this seems to have, this just seems such a great curriculum. So I'm so excited. I've heard so many wonderful things. And this is the level 1 reader. Look how thick it is. And she's already like dug into this book and started looking through it a little bit. She's got mini books with hers that I'll have to put together. So I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm just going to put this up on our shelf, and when it gets closer I'll do the fun part of putting it all together. But how cool just to have it, right? Phonics cards for her, and then her course book. My thoughts are she's probably going to go through this pretty quickly. I'm imagining we're going to like buzz through this. I'm not going to like rush her, but I feel like she'll know it, but just we'll probably move quickly. And then I'll be probably purchasing the level 2 like halfway through the year. So it's kind of nice to have bought it so much cheaper, so I don't have to feel so bad that I'm going to be buying a second book and set for her. I love this. I love printing stuff off because I like that it saves a lot, but I've got to say, when you get new books in the mail and they're all bound and they're gorgeous, and it just gets you really excited for putting together stuff. So anyways, I hope this was helpful, and I will be doing some more videos on more stuff that I'm ordering, getting in the mail as I start setting up for next year, and what my other plans are for things that we got, because it's exciting, right? Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next week on Saturday.